What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 18th episode of Speaking of Stadia. I am, of course, one of your gorgeous hosts, Aaron Cini, and with me, as always, is the bearded beauty himself, my favorite John Krasinski on the internet, Too Tall Porter, Jacob. Jacob, how the hell are you, sir?
Good. It's finally getting warm here, so it's been it's been 40 all week, which is like fantastic. Gorgeous. Yeah, gorgeous. It's been really windy today, but it's fantastic. I'm excited to have some spring coming back up because it's been. I'm done with snow. I'm done with just moving. I don't mind snow being on the ground. I'm just tired of moving it. It's just so like we got hit with like 32 inches one day, and then we get like two other like 4 to 6 inch snowstorms, and I'm done.
You guys have been hammered way harder. Like I'm out in Colorado and we're in the Rocky Mountains, obviously, so we get plenty of snow. But man, this year you guys just got slammed to start the year.
The Northeast in general,
jeez,
so, fun times. But and unfortunately, I'm not like a kid anymore, where it's like I can just like stay home, play video games. Like no, I gotta go to work. I gotta take care of my kid.
I gotta do things. Right. Well, it's good to be back. I feel like this is our first real episode in 2021. I mean, not really. We did a couple in January, but just being sick and then still not really having a voice the last time we recorded. So this is great.
And then the beginning of the year kind of still feeling like 2020 because of things, but
we're rounding the corner though, aren't we?
Yeah, finally. I think it's
good.
Yeah, finally. Nothing too besides Stadia news. Nothing too crazy.
And the Stadia news has in fact been.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
Less than stellar. I just realized I never retweeted out our thing. I'm going to do that right now.
Oh yeah, you better.
So yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk to you about Stadia. We have so much news. Not all of it great. Some of it happy.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
We're gonna start off strong.
Yeah, a doozy of an episode. I just saw what you tweeted. Yeah. Like I am ready. So why don't we talk about what we always start our shows with? What have you been playing, Mr. Porter?
I've actually been really busy over the last 2 weeks. I haven't played a ton, but I have been actually jumped into Madden. Actually, it started with the story mode for it.
Getting into that mutt, aren't you?
No, actually, I have not. No, I actually haven't been playing mutt. The last 2-3 days, I played the story mode.
I am late at night, shocked and appalled.
Part of why I've been busy, I've been studying for my my FE actually. I actually just got my practice exam and everything for that. So I finally set a date for that. I'm just taking in the end of April. So fingers crossed on that. But I've been playing Madden at night when I'm done studying. I'm actually enjoying the story mode for overall so far. I'm still like stuck in high school. I'm like at probably the end of the high school part of it. So
Did you play the last 2?
No, I have not. No. Okay. I haven't played a Madden since I think like Calvin Johnson was on the cover. So
dang,
it's been a bit.
I will say this.
Outside of the I think last year's on Xbox X Cloud's beta. I think they had the 2020.
Yeah.
So I played a little bit of that. I played a little bit of that, and then that was it. So that's only Madden I've really played in the last like 4-ish years. So
the last 2 story modes. The follow-up wasn't amazing.
I heard the first one was great. I heard the first one was great.
The first one could be a freaking Netflix like Friday Night Light style show, and I would watch the hell out of it. That first one was so good. I crushed that story, and I was so invested. The characters are phenomenal. They had freaking Maharaja Ali on there. Like,
oh wow,
glorious game.
I'm blanking on the person. They have a host for this one, and he's an actual like. I think he's an actual like announcer or whatnot, but I just can't remember his name right now for the life of me. But
he's a real boy.
Yeah, but they have like him as a kid in high school. Like he's like because you're high school. But it's like sponsored, like it's like presented by this person whose name I cannot remember. But no, did you play that at all yet or no?
No, I've been just messing around with some exhibition matches and stuff like that. I would like to jump into the story just to see how it is. I have a hard time, like that season from 2 years ago or 3 years ago now was so good. I feel like I'm holding it to a very high standard. But I still want to check it out and jump in. And I don't know. I'm one of those people, like once the Super Bowl happens, me and Madden, we have a big disconnect.
Yeah, just because it's so late, and I haven't played Madden in a while. I want to play, and that's why I'm not as interested in playing, especially because again with the cross. I think from what I remember seeing is crossplay with PC, but it is like a barren wasteland. So it's like, is it really worth it? Like, I mean, I could do like the single player stuff on there, but that's just boring. Right. I haven't tried doing an online game in there yet, but the card community is just not there. So it's like there's no way of like really. Besides just playing and getting packs, there's not really a great way of upgrading myself. So, it's like, so I'm a little. I'm like, so that's what I'm like. Yeah, I'll just play the story. It sounds. People said they've been good in the past. I'll try this one. I like it overall. It's the generic like you are the QB2 is what they call you because they can't do name pronunciations very well. You're QB2, and then the first game that you play in, like literally you've been playing football for the first time since Pop Warner, like 2 weeks been on the team.
Okay.
throw you
and
into
now
a
you're
game.
just a miracle stud or what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he like the QB1 has like a congenital heart condition and needs another surgery and like doesn't want to admit it because he doesn't want to lose his prospects. And then he comes back like after getting the surgery like the next year because I guess he's only a junior. Apparently, like they gotta leave that out. Like, and then he's and then he's gonna switch to a wide receiver now. Like a whole like remember the Titans like plays switching from running back or what was Ryan Gosling's character? Didn't he switch?
God, I constantly forget that Ryan Gosling is in that movie.
There's a ton of fantastic actors in that movie. So that just didn't get like good shots at. That's a fantastic movie. That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's the whole like the beginning part of it. Is like that's how you like get your spot. My one like odd issue of how it is like I made my whole character in the creator and it looks fine. I thought it looked cool. And my wife was like helping me, and then I go to the story mode, and it makes him like a Frankenstein face. I don't know, like when you like adjust the lips, like it doesn't like it's like move it up, move it, make him wider. It didn't like.
It didn't do any of that.
It didn't change at all in the actual creator. But when I went to go bring, and the nose looks like normal, and then I bring him into the actual story mode, and his nose is gigantic. Like not like I'm exaggerating. It's not like super. His mouth is really weird. Because I made his mouth a little bit wider and is like moved it up a bit. So it's like mouth's way too close to his nose and really wide. And then
I need you to send me a screenshot.
It's like, and he's like pursed lips the whole time. It's just really weird. Like it's so odd. I made the post.
I think that's why the approach to their first story mode was so good. They were just established characters. They were who they were. They were, normal voice actors. You didn't get to adjust any of that. And I didn't need to. I was so invested in their story and what he was going to do and like how I was moving up in the rankings on this reality show and all that. It was great. So yeah, maybe don't let me create people.
Your character does have a voice. You can choose from like 3 different voices, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure if that changed. And all the voices sound. I mean, I made a white guy. I'm a white person. I made a white guy. I'm not sure. I wonder if that changes if you make a person that's more of a different race. Like, I wonder how that changes in that game. I always wonder how many voice actors they actually got for this. Is what I'm curious about. For a Madden game. Granted, it makes a ton of money, so they can pay out like tons of people anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting. Your character's still fully voice acted, which is actually good for a single player game where you make a character creator. They just call you by generic name. It sounds like, at least so far.
Yo, QB2.
Yeah. It's like, are you gonna call me QB2 in the NFL? Like,
yeah, I've been watching your high school tapes, QB2.
Yeah, because the whole framing is like the first scene. You're going back to your high school, like, and then you're sitting down for the interview, and you're like retelling your story about how you got to where you are, essentially. Yeah, and it's all flashbacks from there.
For your sake, I hope they give you a Scrubs reference at some point, and somebody just goes, "Hey, number 2."
I wish. So that's like way too long. I talked about Madden, but that's pretty much most of what I've been playing. Honestly, I jumped into the beginning of Watch Dogs Legion, and then I got past like the tutorial area, made my character, or chose my character, and did some little bit of stuff, and then I closed the game. Yeah, and then I went to go back to it, and it's like, oh, start a new game. I'm like, can I continue my game? Like, no, it's making a new game. Like, oh, so it didn't autosave at all. Cool.
Oh, what?
So yeah, I'm like, I'm not doing this tutorial again right now. So
yeah,
I go back to it.
I don't want to go through this at all.
so that was a little frustrating. I think what else did I play? Anything else? I'm just gonna pull up my Stadia. I mean, I did play board games online with my friends recently.
Of course,
I got to talk about my board game stuff. I also bought a new board game. I played that yesterday with my in real life or IRL. Did I play anything
You'd be so
else?
proud while you're looking that up. You know what I did this weekend? I built a fort around our couch and TV to surprise my kid with.
That's awesome.
Giant sheet fort. And then we ordered Taco versus Burrito, the game, which is a goofy little family card game invented by a 7-year-old, where you try to make the like most disgusting taco or burrito, and like each card has a point and all that. And we played board games. So I was like, Porter would be so proud that we played board and card games.
Just real quick on that. There's actually a game being on Kickstarter right now. I think or it did end, but I think you still back it later. It's actually made by a guy and his daughter called Cora Quest. It's like a dungeon crawler, and I've heard it's really good. Like it's made for like a younger crowd. There's actually a lot of good like younger board games. Like a whole like
nice section. Taco versus Burrito was fantastic. We had a great time, laughed a lot. It was fun.
I forgot a big one actually that I played and finished. I finally finished Immortals. It's been like 2 weeks, so I forgot that I did finish it. I said I'm probably gonna finish it. I did finish it. I was very, very close to the end. So yeah, I actually liked the twist. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I liked the twist. There was a twist at the end.
Okay, nice.
I enjoyed that part of it. The final boss fight was fine. I felt like towards the end of the game, I was just mowing through everything. Very, very rarely was I dying. I was pretty much specced out on my weapons.
Okay.
My armor wasn't, because I was having trouble finding the resources for that. But
okay,
my weapons were pretty much decked out, so I was doing hella damage to Typhon. So, but no, I liked a little bit of the twist at the end with the story, in the final scenes, and I like how it ends. Overall, it does allow for it to continue. There's probably going to be more of these games. There's definitely going to be a new series, so I'm pretty excited to see where it goes. Nice. I played the. I know you played the male Phoenix. I played the female, and I liked her character overall. Her voice acting was really fun the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm sure the male was great too. It seems like they advertised the female so much. Like, it seems like kind of like Cassandra, like for Odyssey, even though Odyssey was actually on the cover was not her. It just seems like that was the main. Everyone made it seem like that was like the main character. So I'm like, I'm going to play the female character. She seems like you could respect the character at any time.
Yeah, I had played as Cassandra's Odyssey pretty recently, so I just decided to mix it up and play as the
male
character.
Problem. Yeah.
Plus, the male character in this one is actually good, unlike Odyssey. So that helps.
Yeah, I heard he was a little bit of a jerk in Odyssey.
Yeah. So now that you beat it, out of 10, what's your score?
Realistically, probably like an 8-ish, 8.5.
I mean, that's a great game, honestly.
Probably 8.5. It's not, like I said, it's not super challenging. I definitely think it is open world where you can go and do anything you want. Like you did Ares first after Aphrodite. And having played it now, I think you're actually you're definitely supposed to do Ares last. Like it's good because it's not that big a deal. There's a character you meet during Ares, and I'm not sure if you met him yet, that comes back later in the game. So if you did Ares first and then go to finish all the 4 gods and then come back, like, oh, here you are. I was wondering where you went for the last 20 hours of my game.
Fair.
But at the same time, I'm glad the game lets you do it however you want. But it was an odd, like, oh, why is he here?
Yeah. Okay.
I can see that being an issue. I went around clockwise. So I did Aphrodite, Athena, Hephaestus, and Ares in that order. I was still cleaning up some of Hephaestus' stuff when I was doing Ares, but I mostly did endgame stuff. So, but yeah, I did all the main storylines, and I think I beat all except for one of the mythic creatures. May go back and find him. I'll probably go back and do the DLC. The DLC is actually its own like game, if you will. It's you actually have to go to like a new it's like the whole menu for it. It's like a new game.
Oh wow!
So it's not like you go back into the world and you're exploring a new area. It's literally, hey, you're going. And it's clearly Olympus. You go to Olympus's like Hermes trials and stuff like that. So it's a little bit. It's like its own thing. But you carry over your character. It seems like I haven't tried it much yet. I was gonna hop in to try some of it. Then it was kind of late, and then it's like, oh, I need to make like a new game. No, I'm not gonna do it right now.
No, I'm done. Yeah, no, I don't want to go through that right now. Nice. So,
sweet. But yeah, that was pretty much all I played. Just those three, unfortunately. So hopefully, with the games we just got, I'm hoping to play. I'm interested in like most of them. So
yeah. So I did play a little bit. Let's see. I've been playing the new Tomb Raider on PlayStation 3 because that was PlayStation 3. The third Tomb Raider on PlayStation 5 because it was the free game this month.
Oh yeah,
that's been a lot of fun. It's probably my favorite in the series. It's really really good. And then it
was free. It was free this month.
It was, yeah. It's the PlayStation Plus game.
I thought it was Control. What was that last month?
I must be a month off then, unless it was Control and Rise of the Tomb.
I know Control was one of the months recently, and then I know today is or I think probably tomorrow is a Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah, which I own, so that's
it. Kind of makes me want to re-up.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
they've been killing the last few months. I kind of wish I had like when the Control was there, so I don't need to play it on Luna.
Yeah, good old yeah. So I've been playing that, and then I don't know. I just bounced around to a few different PlayStation games, but the big one I wanted to talk about. Well, actually, I'll end with that. I did play the Outriders demo, which I wanted to play it on PlayStation, even though I wanted to play it on Stadia, but that's not a thing,
unfortunately. But it's gonna be crossplay. They did say crossplay day one though. Like the
crossplay. Are they also doing cross progression though?
I don't know. I just remember seeing a web thing they had, like, and saying crossplay with Steam, or what was it, Epic Game Store and Stadia at launch is what they said. But the beta was.
That's the only thing that might bum me out is the tutorial. I mean, it's fine if I have to go back through it. I have to go back through it. I just hope I get to keep my progress on Stadia playing it on PlayStation.
Well, so. Is it a different? I wonder how they do it, because if it's a different like file, it may not save as a like you know what I mean, like it's a demo, like. Well,
and that's their big deal is all your progression from the demo should carry over.
Okay, then maybe it will. I don't. I'm hoping it'll be cross progression. This is what Square Enix did.
Yeah. So I would love it if they gave me cross progression over to Stadia, because
I'm trying to think of any game
picking it up on Stadia.
They don't do online games, so I can't even think about like what they.
Yeah.
Well, what's an example of them being able to do it? So.
Because they're Avengers too, aren't they?
Yeah, that's not cross
anything. It's not cross anything. No cross progression, no cross play, nothing.
I constantly want to. It was like on sale. I think it was on sale or it was on sale. I'm like, I kind of want to buy it, but like, do I buy on Stadia or do I buy on PlayStation? Like Spider-Man. Like, I don't know.
Such a tough one.
Spider-Man makes it tough. Honestly, that was a bombshell. Like, looking back on it now, like. That really makes me want to buy on PlayStation because I want to play Spider-Man,
and that's where I bought it.
Yeah,
Outriders is pretty good. It has very much a Division meets like Mass Effect meets Gears feel.
Okay,
very much Division in the sense of like how you do a lot of the cover shooting and how you have to think through your abilities and how you take down different areas. But they want you to be really aggressive. So it's a lot of like rushing up, and then the abilities are there to like explode people. The game just kind of has an identity crisis to me. Like, it kind of wants to be serious, but at the same time, they're like, you get more health if you explode these bad guys. And they like literally like pop into like a little thing of blood. And like, so it's just kind of tonally all over the place. And there's just some shit writing. There are some lines in it that are so bad and so generic. But I will say the moment to moment seems like it's a lot of fun. Like, I enjoy the actual just gameplay and going through the world and taking people down. So we'll see. Also, speaking of the Division, you played Division 1, yes?
Yes. I didn't play it to the end, but I did play a bit of it, yeah.
So your main NPC that you meet right off the beginning, who gives you all the missions, she's the grizzled eye patch lady who's like, this is my city. And yeah, in this one, like, your main NPC who's going to give you missions is a grizzled old lady with like an eye patch on the same eye. And I'm just like, so I don't know. It seems like it borrows probably just a little too much from things. but I dig the abilities. I dig the skill tree. I dig what they're doing with the gameplay. It looks really nice. So it's like it's fun to play, but not necessarily like that's about what it has going for it. It's really good gameplay, cool enemy types, but there's nothing that like drives me to keep going. I'll be interested to see what the online stuff feels like and looks like and what it's like to play with a team. I think that might help. And I need to get a little bit further. I mean, I'm only 2.5, 3 hours into the demo.
Okay. Yeah.
So I got to the point where I got my powers and I played like 2 levels after that. I like my character. I will say the character creator, as somebody who loves character creation, is rough.
Okay.
It took me 10 minutes to make my guy. And as somebody who likes to create characters, that's sad. So it was just like, here's your 7 hair options. Here's your 7 face options. Do you want any of these 5 scars? Cool. See you later.
Yeah,
so there wasn't like a lot of like deep customization, which is a bummer.
Madden wasn't that much better, to be fair.
Fair. See, like, and even I love stuff like the Elder Scrolls games or Mass Effect or things like that, where they go really, really detailed and you can really make somebody like kind of your own. This was not that. So,
yeah.
And then I also played about an hour today of Pixel Junk Raiders.
Awesome. I was watching since I knew I wasn't gonna have any time to play. I watched the guys at Nerd Nest, the Stadia cast. Lloyd. It was Lloyd. Watching him stream it. So I was watching him for like a half hour while I was doing some busy work.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, I want to play more of it. I don't feel like I could give you like an opinion on it. I feel like I can barely give you impressions. Like it seems like it's really fun. I dig the combat. I dig moving around the world. The skill trees also seem really cool. I just like the first thing I upgraded with my first skill point was to be able to hold a weapon in my left hand. But the style, the music, like it has a lot going for it where you can kind of like hang out in it and it'll feel cool. I haven't even gotten far enough to really see what the roguelike is really going to be.
Yeah.
In terms of like when you die, how the environment shifts and enemies and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be really interested to see. I'm going to keep going with it. So
yeah,
I want to keep playing.
I definitely want to keep trying it. I want to probably, after we're done with this tonight, I'll probably, once I'm done do some stuff around the house, I'll probably jump in and play some. For what I saw, there's a few things that annoyed me was like, the draw distance at which enemies spawned, it looked like they were like popping in closer than I think I would have liked. Okay. At certain spots, I'm not sure if it was maybe just me looking at it differently, but like you just feel like they were just like maybe a few feet in front of you, they like pop in, like that's kind of odd. I'm not sure it's just the area where they're spawning, but it was like a clear like spawn point. So he was getting a little frustrated with some of the enemy stuff, like enemies spawning, like a ton more enemies spawning at this one area. So
interesting. I wonder if I'll run into
we'll
that.
We'll see those frustrations, but
I didn't really see much of that stuff in terms of they all seem to like kind of spawn on the horizon and rush you, and then you could, do it.
I was like on the horizon, but I feel like it wasn't like far enough out where you could see them. I guess like the enemy draw distance wasn't like a ton. But it's like the draw distance in that game is actually really good. Like you can see like colors and shapes far away, which is like important, so you can kind of explore it a little bit.
Right.
But it just didn't seem like they had the draw distance for the enemies, which was kind of annoying. But with the power of the cloud and everything, like you think like this is a game that's made for Stadia on Stadia, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be on anything else going forward.
Right.
And this also has a really cool like state share feature too, which I'm kind of interested to try out too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it has state. Like you can each run, you can like save your like your like. It's kind of complicated, but there's a way of sharing a state, and people would also, if you build any of the structures in there, people will also get those structures too, like to help them out. Like it's kind of cool. So that's interesting.
Nice. Right on.
Cool.
But speaking of Pixel Junk, that actually ends What Are You Playing? And perfectly segues, I might add, into our first story of the day. Pixel Junk Raiders is actually an exclusive to Stadia and new pro games along with Pac-Man Reigns and Avicii.
Yeah.
This story comes from 9 to 5 Google. The March 2021 games, Pixel Junk Raiders, Avicii and Vector, Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle, and Reigns are now available for Stadia Pro subscribers. Obviously, that comes with the $9.99 membership. As long as you have them, these games are yours to play, do whatever you want. It's also really important to note, hopefully this episode will be out tonight, so you guys have a little bit of time to grab this. If not, if you listen to it later this week, we are recording on Monday, March 1st, so I apologize if this is late to you. It's also worth noting that Outcasters will no longer be free starting tomorrow, March 2nd.
And also Kind, Hello Neighbor, Secret Neighbor, and Monster Jam Steel Titans are
already done, right?
Yeah,
they're
left on the 28th. Free. So just if you didn't get them, sorry. But yeah.
Sad. What do you think of the games this month for Pro?
I'm happy with them. I liked my little bit of time with Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle when I was during the demo period.
Yeah,
I thought it was a fun. I like Pac-Man overall. Pac was a fun. My dream thing to have is a 30th anniversary Miss Pac-Man Galaga Machine, because those are two perfect games. Like, those are fantastic games, and I want to have that at some point in my life. And not like the mini retro. I want to get like a real 30th anniversary one. So I'm excited to play some Pac-Man with that. Reigns, I know our reoccurring guest, Fee, she loves Reigns. She's bought it on every tons of different platforms. There's actually and she's a big board game fan. There's a board game version of Reigns,
and she owns that too, I'm sure.
No, she actually said she didn't, but you can still probably get it. Like, you can. She's surprised she didn't get it. So,
okay.
But yeah, I remember telling her it was hard to ship during one of our episodes. But yeah, I'm Reigns. I've heard is great. I've played a tiny bit on my phone. But no, I'm excited that's free here. And then this game, the Avicii. I guess it's a. I'm not sure. Do you know about that game or the artist that's about?
Oh yeah.
I looked it up because I had no idea what the name was. And
no, you never heard of Avicii.
I'm not a EDM person.
I'm not either. But you didn't hear that super famous song where he remixed one of Aloe Black's song, and it's like, so
also a name I don't know.
All you gorgeous audio listeners, you're so welcome for this next part. But it's like, so wake me up when it's all over.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I know younger.
I know you're talking about. Okay.
Avicii did that remix. And that's how he.
Yeah, every wedding you go to, you'll hear that song.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I never heard the name. I guess I heard that song, but
it's so this is really embarrassing to talk about how little I know about EDM. Is I was like, man, this guy has a great voice, and I looked it up, and I found out Avicii was just like a DJ who remixed that song, and I found out the guy who sings the original song that he remixed is named Aloe Black. That's the only reason I know that.
Oh, okay.
And he's great. I love his voice, and that's my style of music. EDM is not, and Avicii, yeah. And this is the weird part about this game, though, is Avicii passed away
it was made in memoriam to him. It's I looked it up. It's like, what is this? It was made in his memory.
Really? Okay, so it's all his music while you fly through space. I
guess so. Yeah, it looks like almost like an Amplitude slash wipeout game. It seems like it was you're pressing a prompts when at certain parts of the song was Amplitude was but you're a ship. Okay. So. I don't know. What's interesting? I'm gonna try. I'll try.
I claimed it. I'll try.
Same here. I'll try it. I'll try anything.
I'll try anything.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, when you I noticed when you're on 9 to 5 Google, the top right corner, there's a little sun thing. Hit that to hit dark mode.
Booyah! Love that.
Because it is painful looking at. I'm already looking at white screen because of stream. I wish StreamYard had that option.
Yeah, I have everything in dark mode. So
dark mode, everything. You're welcome. I'm like, why is mine black and his?
Yeah, you have to click the little button. That brings us to our next story. Terraria is coming back, baby.
Yeah, we were right. Essentially, we were right. We really were right.
Literally, we were like, listen, you don't get to just be like, I was locked out of my Gmail. I'm gonna break this contract.
Imagine if a guy lost his OneDrive account because his Hotmail account got compromised, and he decided
he's like,
I'm never making
a
game on
Xbox
ever again going forward. No, you're not. Don't lie to me.
Thank you so much, by the way. Oh, that's too nice. We do love our beards. We talk about them a lot. No, I mean, there's literally no other way to say this other than we called this shit.
Yeah.
We were like, listen, you don't get to just stop developing games because you're pissed that your personal Gmail was locked out.
But this actually is a good article, though. Actually, their response is very good. I'll say that much.
Yeah. So this, of course, comes from 9 to 5 Google as well. It's unfortunately not super uncommon issue for people to be randomly locked out of Google accounts. This is the story we recounted a while back. You can see here Andrew Spinks.
Yeah, that's Demilogic. Yeah.
My phone has lost access to thousands of dollars of apps on Google Play. I just bought LOTR 4K and can't finish it. My Google Drive data is completely gone. I can't access YouTube. The worst of all is losing access to my Gmail address of over 15 years. I have not done anything to violate your terms of service, so I can take no other way than you deciding to burn this bridge. Consider it burned. Terraria for Google Stadia is canceled. My company will no longer support any of your platforms moving forward. So that was on February 7th.
Actually, click on the top, and that there's an update. Click the link to the Stadia source article because I didn't realize this one didn't have it. No, this is a post a few days ago, but no, I like the Terraria screenshot that they have. No, click. Oh no, this is the Terraria. This is the actual thing. But
I did it
ruined.
Wrong. I broke it.
Ruined it, Bob. Ruined. I'm not sure if you ever watched Bob Ross on this Twitch. There should be click the Stadia source word there. Yeah. Okay. That'll give you the link I want because it actually has like the snippet of the thing about the update.
Got it. So, Terraria's February State of the Game update has officially confirmed that Terraria is back on the cards for release on Stadia. The game was originally suspected to release on Stadia following the PEGI rating, which was found in the game, but wasn't officially confirmed until it was announced that the game had actually been canceled for Stadia following a myriad of events that saw one of the founders of the game, Andrew Spinks, locked out of all of his Google accounts which held a lot of official Terraria account content, such as its YouTube page. Here's the statement that was posted. Google account Stadia update. As you may have noticed, we had a ton of issues to kick off the year stemming from the locking down of Reddit's entire Google account in early January. After a month of pushing and with the immense support of our fans, Google finally reached out and was able to provide a lot of transparency around the situation and restore access to all of our accounts. Due to the hard work the Stadia team has put in, due to all the hard work the Stadia team has put in, as well as our partners at 505 Games, we have decided that we will allow the upcoming launch Terraria on Google Stadia to proceed. The Terraria Stadia build is based on the DR Studio's 1.4.0.5 latest build and is currently at Google for certification and review,
which is
meaning it should be coming pretty dang soon.
Yeah, which is awesome news. And like I said, well, I'm glad it's two different. They separated the entities of Google and Stadia, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, me too.
Saying Google helped give transparency, and Stadia helped clearly push to get this fixed. And now my phone's going off. Okay, Google, I get it.
Hear me say your name 100 times.
Yeah. So yeah, it's So I'm glad they clarified both their efforts, which I thought was really, really. I think the biggest takeaway from this was that Stadia is. Clearly, they tried going through Google and didn't reach out to Stadia, so they penalized Stadia for Google / YouTube's problem. And I posted about this in kind of funny. People like, oh well, it's I don't expect it's still Google's fault. Why I don't understand why you're I'm like, well, no, it's like if you got locked out of your Hotmail account, like I said, you're not gonna
look at an Xbox because you lost all your files on OneDrive.
Exactly. It's there. Not all there's a bunch. I guess it is Google, it is Microsoft, it is Amazon, but they don't all necessarily talk to each other very well. Like it's like I'm not going to make a movie on for Sony Pictures because my PlayStation account got locked out or hacked.
Exactly.
It's like they don't all talk to each other. It's a big company, but it's a YouTube problem. But Stadia is being brought into it essentially because
you can imagine if Tom Holland was like, "I will no longer be finishing the Uncharted movie because my PlayStation account was locked."
Yeah. I'm not sure. Sorry, real quick. I'm not sure if anyone else is actually watching us right now, but if they can post in the comments if Aaron sounds really pixelated, because he sounds very pixelated to me right now.
Ooh, that would be interesting. I feel like I sound fine, but if you're listening right now, can you tell me if I sound like a 1990s Mario game?
You sound like a robot, kind of.
I sound like a robot. I bet that made it even worse. Yeah, if you're listening right now, we do have a couple of viewers. If you don't mind tossing it into the comments, do I sound weird? Thank you.
Yeah, if maybe just unplug and plug it back in, like the whole like
maybe. Yeah, I can do that. You want to do that?
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry.
You got to riff. Like we're still audio. You got to.
Okay. Yeah. So no, this is sorry. Yeah, no. So I'm excited to have Terraria come back. I've actually played a little bit of Terraria back on my phone, actually back a while ago. So I'm excited to see how it runs on Stadia and with an actual controller, because I played with touch controls, which is not the most ideal way of playing that game. Stadia. I mean, yeah, and I'm wondering what kind of build, if that build is comparable to the. I'm just wondering how the port is really. If it's really a port of the PC version or a port of the PC version. Oh, yes, well, it did start a minute ago, so wasn't just me. Wasn't just me. I can't hear you right now if you're talking. You got to change your mic settings, I think. Check you're muted if you're muted, or check your. Doing it live. This is what happens. Oh no, Aaron. Still can't hear you. Oh no. Oh no. Is this our Waterman moment? Is this our water? I can't even go. I can hear you. What?
Yeah. Do I sound normal now?
Yeah, you sound normal now.
Okay, good. Thank you so much for all the help. I know you guys couldn't hear me because I had to unplug it. Anyways, that's how we do live shows around this week.
Yeah, it started like maybe it was just a weird connection. Maybe it'll go away. I might be like, oh no,
Bill O'Reilly, let's do it live.
You need to go back and watch that. Good. So let's go to next. The next article is not great news going forward after this. So you want to bring up the article? Rumors going everywhere. Oh, this is the Jason Schreier one. Yeah.
Rumors, just not fair.
Yeah. So it was brought up like two. I put two articles here. So yeah, I think this is. Yeah, apparently there's like two projects going on. One was a Kojima title, and apparently rumored, and then one was I forget the other person besides the Journey to Savage Planet 2 that was also apparently in the works, as well as another game by Jade Raymond's team. Granted, we clearly knew like games were going on from those two teams.
Yeah.
So that's not really the news. It's really the Kojima game and the other game that were told to be being made, possibly being made, or being rumored as they were being made, and then they were canceled at some point, and that's part of the issue. But then Google finally came back and said, no, these have never been made. We talk to people all the time. We have pitch meetings, and they don't always come to fruition. It's not
right.
So there was never an agreement. There was never a deal, and a lot of news outlets took a lot of this news and ran with it. And
including one Mr. Jason
Schreier. Well, Jason Schreier's article actually goes into a bit more about Stadia overall. It's actually not. Sure. I mean, I only glanced through it. It's not a terrible article.
Yeah,
but he does bring up the two games coming back that were not. I think it was actually maybe had the article there as well. The VGC article. That one is the one that was the one. I think the origin of the two games being canceled.
Yeah, so we actually have kind of two news articles, right? Under
I wasn't sure which one
real to go story with. Under two different ones.
Yeah.
So I mean, that really does bring us to the next one. Games canceled, or were they never planned?
Exactly.
Let me get
like clearly Journey to Savage Planet 2, and I forget the code name. It was in one of the articles that Jade Raymond's game were in the works. That was obvious. But these articles talk a lot about the culture and actually, that's another one. The Wired one at the end is one that's what I'm thinking of.
Okay. Yeah, this one is from 9 to 5 Google, and it says, after publicly announcing the closure of Stadia Games Entertainment, continued reports have revealed further details about what the studio is working on. Apparently now canceled first-party projects from Stadia included a multiplayer action game known as Frontier, a sequel to Journey to the Savage Planet 2, and an exclusive game from the legendary Kojima. This was an update on February 28th. A Google representative speaking to Games Radar says that the VGC report was inaccurate and reported heresy as fact, adding that the report's assertions regarding Kojima and Yu Suzuki projects were simply not true, saying that the Google does not have anything nor have announced anything with Kojima or Yu Suzuki. Notably, the report never claimed that Google had announced anything, but had turned down the project when it was being pitched. What do you make of this?
I mean, yeah, it doesn't make Stadia look good, but it's kind of a not news thing. Like games get pitched all the time. Just because they said no to Kojima, like not everything Kojima touches is golden. Like right. People either really liked Death Stranding or they did not like Death Stranding, and I heard from like the Giant Bomb guys, one of them like enjoyed it overall, but like, the last third of that game was a slog, and they did not care for it. Did you play? I haven't played it.
I played it and beat it, and
the last third is like really terrible.
God,
it's
the
just
end of that game
so ham-fisted,
so
like
brutal. I don't know why my mic keeps readjusting. Ever since I unplugged it, it just keeps spiking its volume now, and I don't know what to do.
There's a setting in StreamYard to adjust your volume.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, there's an auto adjust volume, your mic volume in StreamLab. StreamYard.
Is there now?
Yes, there is. I noticed it today.
It's not checked.
Well, that's unfortunate then. But yeah, it is frustrating. It's like they're taking any news they can get and putting it, because negative articles get clicks, and Stadia is the butt of the meme of the internet when it comes to video games. So let's just keep making articles that are negative. We already knew the other games are canceled, and there was another bigger the game developer that also had a game pitched that was canceled, or not canceled. That was just never brought on. But yeah, Death Stranding was people love that game or they hate that game, and you can't say. I mean, even some of the Metal Gear games were questionable. Like,
so a friend of mine who their opinion I very much respect in games, they just tend to burn through games very quickly. They had told me I had about a couple hours left one night. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're like an hour and a half, 2 hours away," and I was like, "All right, that's perfect."
8 hours later,
literally, it took me so long to finally beat that game, and it was so convoluted and it was so ridiculous, and none of it really made sense. And then even after the credits rolled, I had another 2 hours
of movie to watch. Probably
that game frustrated the heck out.
Yeah, I heard like you have to go back across the earth, like, and you can't like fast travel, and you said to go, and it's like slog.
It was a definite slog.
So it's like Kojima maybe he made PT. That's like that demo looks really cool, but
we get he's the father of Metal Gear, but like other games exist. It's fine.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know. It just
and this was the moment, everyone, that speaking of Stadia died, and all the Kojima fans canceled us.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, Peace Walker is one of my favorite games of like all time. I love Peace Walker. I played that to hell on my PSP Go. One of the 5 people that own the PSP Go, so to speak.
Oh man,
I love that PSP Go. It was fantastic. Best handheld I've ever had.
Yeah,
best handheld. It was the size of my cell. It's smaller than my cell phone right now. Like the thing was like this. It's fantastic. It was awesome.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it's just
But you know what? People need clicks, and that's why they write stories like this. Which brings me to my next topic. Kotaku clickbaits their crowd.
Yeah.
This comes from The Verge. Google has now patched Journey to the Savage Planet through its studio, though its studio is no more. It was unclear who would fix the bugs, but they've been fixed now. This story comes about a week ago. Google tells The Verge it has now patched Journey to the Savage Planet, one of the first and last games from one of Google's own studios. After players discovered it had game-breaking bugs and that technical support was no help, it was originally unclear who might fix the game, since its developers had seemingly moved on. Journey to the Savage Planet debuted on Stadia on February 1st, the same day Google shut down its Stadia studios. Oh, that's a mouthful. And its employees were either absorbed into other parts of Google or let go. Journey to the Savage Planet was developed by Typhoon Studios. The article goes on.
Yeah, it goes on a bit longer, but I picked their article just because I didn't want to give Kotaku credit because they're the ones that the problem with it. Kotaku decided to make an article saying, this game is broken as shit, but no one's there to fix it because they fired everyone. It's like, you really think that it didn't keep some people on, either one to help people port games, like help consult on games that were from those studios, or the fact that they wouldn't keep some people around, that they said they migrated some people to other parts of the company that they can access if they need help with the game. It was a non-article. Literally the next day, less than 24 hours, Google on Reddit, actually Grace posted, "Yep,
they're like, it's fixed."
So
no big deal.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. Is
clearly we're fixing it.
There's a little bit of a lack of journalistic integrity. Instead of writing this clickbaity article of your game is broken, nobody's there to fix it, so let's just like dump on the hate of Stadia, which I understand is like the internet thing to do, and it's like the meme thing to do. Instead of reaching out to Google and saying, "Hey, we've heard about all these bugs. Like, do you have a statement you'd like to make? Who's going to be fixing this?" With no studio, we're just curious as to what happens with support for these games, and doing literally a pinky's worth of journalism.
Yeah,
I am a former journalist. I have written about games, movies, arts, entertainment, sports, worked for papers and websites. It takes literally nothing to just reach out. And honestly, your article even carries more credibility if you say, "We reached out to Google and received no comment." At least we know you did the work. Don't just be like, "Well, your game's broke. Ain't nobody there to fix it." It's just all conjecture and it's stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
Rant over before I cough.
Yeah, it's I had something I wanted to say and I'm losing the words right now. But it's frustrating. I feel like I keep saying that this whole episode, so to keep a track of that. That they post the article without clearly asking. And apparently people like, it was a very minor issue. That's what I was gonna say. It's a very minor issue what was even happening with the game. Like,
right.
I know Travail was playing the game and was loving it. So like, I don't think he was experiencing any game breaking bugs. It made it sound like this widespread thing that the game is busted, it's unplayable. It's how they describe it, and it's really probably like 5% of the population playing the game, they're having an issue, and then like they saw someone tweet that the game wasn't working on Stadia, and like, haha, let me write an article about this. This game is broken.
Right.
And there's
nobody there to fix it, even though they were literally just working on a fix
the whole time, and you just didn't reach out to them. Clearly. And even if they did, they clearly didn't. Like,
right.
They said they did. They clearly didn't.
Yeah. No,
so
not
Kotaku is a bit of a meme itself in terms of like its journalistic integrity anymore. So it's just,
yeah, I think Schreier took a lot of the credibility with him when he left that place.
And even he does actual journalistic work, but at the same time he also likes to fit his agenda often too. But
yes, and he loves to bait people.
Yes,
definitely a master.
Definitely. Oh, speaking of just a pronunciation of words, you said hearsay, and it's, I think before hearsay.
I think I accidentally said heresy.
Heresy, no, yeah, sorry, it's heresy. It's like hearsay.
Yeah. So I just misread it. Yeah. I was singing heresy.
I thought that was funny. I just wanted to.
Fine. You're gonna call me out. Nobody would notice that. All right. Good news though, Sky Climbers is officially coming. The words are difficult. You shouldn't have called me out. It's messing with me now. This also goes from 9 to 5 Google. Amid some troubling reports this week, there is some good news in the world of Stadia. A title highly anticipated by the community, Sky Climbers, was officially confirmed for release on Stadia, while 5 new games arrived and more. Stadia Changelog is a weekly series. Oh, never mind.
No, I like this actually, honestly, because it does a good job of summing up a lot of the smaller stuff. Like, it talks about like it highlights a lot. I'm like, oh, I can find an article for each of these, like, or I can just pull this one. It has like all of them, like the new games and Sky Climbers being added. Sky Climbers, I did actually up my pledge to the 45 for the alpha codes for us, so you'll get a code and I'll get a code for the game. It's 40. It's essentially I'm paying $22 per each of us to play the game, so it's like whatever. And the alpha, so I'm pumped for that. They actually finally posted some gameplay on Twitch and through the Kickstarter Looks interesting. I haven't. I say this not even knowing the source, but from what my friend described to me, what I'm blanking on the article, the name right now. It's that the game that's really popular on Steam right now, the Viking game, like Valheim.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
No,
Oh,
Valheim.
Valheim. Yeah,
Valheim.
yeah. I see that everywhere right
Like
now.
in terms of like, it's like a little bit of survival, a little bit of like world builder. That game, like that's what the game kind of is. If everyone's talking about Valheim, my friend's like, you should play Valheim, you'd like it. I'm like, I don't have free time.
I can't get sucked into this right now. I have seen that word pop up more than I can even count. Over the last
I was listening
week.
to a podcast today and people were talking about Valheim. I'm like, oh, like, okay, wow. Like, it's like not even like, it wasn't even a video game podcast. They're just talking about Valheim. Oh, okay. Valheim.
Oh, yeah.
So,
the other new games added to Stadia this week are Hellpoint, Welcome to Elk, A Place for the Unwilling. Is it Shantae?
Shantae, yeah.
I can't pronounce it wrong. You'll call me out on it. Shantae Half Genie Hero and Shantae Risky's Revenge Director's Cut.
Yeah.
Other Shantae news is that they are bringing Watch Dogs Legion multiplayer support as well.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I'm actually kind of that's part of why I started playing. I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. Maybe me and Aaron can get this if you decide to play it. I'm like, oh no, never mind. Like it's just my game saved it and safe. So,
oh right, no more of that for you.
Yeah. So yeah, that looks interesting enough. I mean, I think that game would be a game like that would do well in multiplayer, especially like the whole like you can play as anyone kind of like built into that game. So it'd be kind of cool.
And then Windbound gets a new feature pack. Gunsport's getting a few fixes on Stadia. Cyberpunk 2077 updates are delayed as part of the hack of CD Projekt Red. Developers for the game are currently unable to work on future updates. In a tweet earlier this week, it was confirmed that damage to the company's IT infrastructure is preventing work on the major 1.2 update that was scheduled for the coming weeks. Now it has been delayed back to the half.
They can't catch a break. I mean,
man, okay, it's been rough for CD Projekt.
We're talking about like Journey to Savage Planet. I was going to bring up Cyberpunk because like Cyberpunk was broken and everyone knew it. So you can post articles saying this game is busted, right, and not have to reach out for comment. You're stating a fact. The game is busted.
Yeah.
Saying the game is busted and there's no one to fix it because they all got COVID or something like that, and that not being true, then that's bad. Like so, it's just that game just can't catch a break anymore. I mean, I know have you jumped back into it? How are you doing with that game? I know you play a lot of Destiny too, so.
Yeah, a little bit of Destiny, a lot of other stuff. So no, I've taken a little bit of a break. I was actually kind of waiting for a few patches. It runs great on Stadia, but just to get some of the bugs out, which are going to be live everywhere. Mm-hmm. I think I told this story a few episodes ago where like I was walking and a bunch of cars just like fell on me from the sky and I died. So like I do want them to just patch it a little bit before I keep going.
Yeah.
And then the other game that I keep like kind of jonesing to go back to, and then I just saw this bullet point, and I obviously haven't been paying that close of attention. Baldur's Gate 3 gets another huge update, which deletes Stadia's save files.
Yeah, it does. Every single patch is going to delete the save files. That's what I told you last time. I'm like, yeah, your save files are going to you're lying to me. I'm like, no, I'm telling you the truth.
So yeah, my save file's gone. If I want to play Baldur's Gate, I have to start over.
And that's again at that point, it's like, I'm gonna wait till the full release. It's like that's the problem with like a early access game where if you're gonna lose your progress, and again, it's a very big branching story. It's like it makes me incentivized me not to play it, which is the point of the early access is to get feedback. So it's like it's choice. I mean, I guess it's how they built it, so it kind of stinks. Well, but
I'll play it again once it's all the way out.
Same here. I'm glad I waited.
Everything else we've covered.
I'm not sure if you want to, while we're talking, just pull up that pre-alpha footage of the roaming around and scroll up.
Let's let's check it out. There will be no audio to this, but if you want to check out what the pre-alpha footage looks like, here you go. We'll at least show just a couple of minutes of this.
Yeah, definitely is pre-alpha. It's, I think the character faces look better than they did in the screen grabs they had on their Kickstarter page, but it just shows like it's people walking around. There's a lot of people walking in the same direction. Is it not showing? I think it's not showing. Did I freeze? Am I gone? Did I disconnect? Am I dead? Yeah, I think I disconnected, huh? Oh no.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
back.
I'm talking. I'm like, oh, he's not moving at all. The video's not moving anymore.
So you froze, I froze, and then it dropped both of us out of stream, and then it was like we're having trouble connecting
so
here.
it did not like us watching videos.
No, and I'm hardwired in, so I'm not sure why
That's
it would
crazy.
be that bad of a stream, but it's
That's
fine.
crazy.
Welcome to the weirdest episode of Speaking of Stadia.
This has been a wild one. This has been a wild one.
This has been wild west. Anyways, go check out 9to5google.com. Check out the pre-alpha footage for Sky Climbers. It looks dope as heck.
And make sure you put on dark mode when you're playing.
And turn on that dark mode by clicking the sun. But also don't stream with videos. The last one is this Wired article. Do you want to talk about it?
You don't need to pull it up. It's just like it was just saying, hey, I recommend reading it. It looks like a decent art. I read through the beginning of it and I didn't get much further. It kind of just talks about like Google's. I thought it was actually a decent article. I mean, it's not a positive article for Google, but talking about how. Where's the one quote I wanted to pull from this? I probably should have pulled it out. There was one quote like about Google, how their typical mentality is to start small, but think big, but start small. And kind of Google went start big and think big and start big.
Yeah,
right, biting off more than they can chew. That was a decent like quote.
But you think they'd have the money to do it, but it's fine.
Yeah, and it talks about like how like Phil Harrison. It talks about the whole like Phil Harrison and their mentality behind it. There's a few other things I didn't put in articles this week. Was like one was like I'm not sure he was even in here. But what was I gonna say? That apparently they missed their. Oh, I did itch me to bring that up. That apparently they missed their target user base by like hundreds of thousands. So they had. That
was what I was trying to find in the article when I put. Yeah, this is the target big time.
Yeah,
so they didn't get nearly the amount of users they were hoping for.
Yeah. So and they apparently spent way too much money on like again, this is all here like rumors. We don't know if anything's substantiated, but like that they apparently spent like $10 million to get like Red Dead and there's one other big game I can't remember right now. Ubisoft. I think it was Ubisoft in general to get them like on board.
Yeah.
And like is like that's a ridiculous amount of money to spend on Red Dead, and I mean Ubisoft makes a little more sense. It's a little bit bigger catalog, but
huge catalog. Red Dead is a game. Although everybody go buy Red Dead right now. Help them out.
Yeah,
make them feel like it was worth it.
But yeah, like that whole like.
No wonder that game has never been on sale on Stadia.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like people are like, oh, I want Stadia to be like Xbox. Like, well, Game Pass. Like, yeah, but at the same time, then you'll get a lot of. I mean, Stadia has a lot of older games, but you'll get a lot of like older, smaller games, and you won't get anything big like a Red Dead or like a Avengers or like you're not going to get those games on Stadia if they go Netflix model, because why would they put it on a subscription model for $10 a month? Because that's what you're going to expect it to be $10 a month, because that's what Game Pass is.
But all those games were already developed for Xbox.
Exactly. Oh, not even that. Yeah, like they're not going to port over the games and they make a tiny fraction of them. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 is not going to be on Stadia if you made a subscription model, because Rockstar knows they can make $60 everywhere and not drop like Nintendo. Nintendo's not going to put their games on something like that, because they know that they can get. They are charging $10 for a reskinned version of Skyward Sword. So all these big AAA companies aren't going to do that. Bethesda back before they got bought by Microsoft wouldn't do that, because they want to get that $60 right away.
Right.
Like, it's just so I understand why people want Stadia to be the Netflix of game, like the literal Netflix of games, but I personally don't see. I kind of like what Luna is doing, where it's kind of a mix. We can get with that model, you can kind of like a la carte. We get like Ubisoft, all their games and whatnot. EA Play if you want to go that way, but I like that more than just one all-encompassing. Like, oh, it's just you're making a subscription that is your service, not the so. But yeah, I think this talks about a lot of that and then the shortcomings of Stadia and talks a lot about how Phil Harrison's been on the bad end of 3 now consoles, if you'll include Stadia as a console.
Yeah, he was a part of the overpriced PlayStation 3, a part of the Xbox One, and now Stadia, right?
Yeah,
the Xbox One launch.
He wasn't the main person, I think, for Xbox launch. Oh, no, I think he was actually earlier. I thought he was earlier Xbox. Maybe I'm wrong. No, because if he was part of PlayStation, no, it couldn't have been. Or maybe I don't know. He wasn't. He's part of like 3. Yeah, I think maybe he was part of Xbox One, but I know the big one was Don Matrick for Xbox One. He was the head of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it talks about the missteps throughout it, which I agree with a lot of them overall. I thought it was a decent thing. But yeah, I thought it was a decent article. Wired, how Google plans to make its own games fell apart. Yeah, and it's I think a pretty decent article, so I recommend. Yeah. Like awesome. I read the beginning part of it. I didn't read the whole thing, but the part I read was really good.
Nice, awesome.
Well, yeah, that's it. Kind of like you said, it was a wild episode for us this week. I feel like we were a little all over the place.
I mean, it was like happy news, sad news. I froze. We had to unplug my mic. Everybody froze. We dropped out of stream. It's fine. It was fine.
Yeah,
it was fine. But right at the 1 hour mark, that does it for the 18th episode of Speaking of Stadia. Once again, I am, of course, one of your hosts, Aaron, and as with me always is Jacob Porter. Jacob, where do you want the good people to find you? Not on Instagram.
Not just don't find me. You remembered.
Oh yeah.
My Instagram's private. Don't bother. But I'm too tall Porter on everything. I think on Twitter I am with it's 2 zeros because someone else somehow took Too Tall Porter. But on Stadia and when I'm Too Tall Porter. And also just I'm glad we don't do this, but if I'm gonna say it, I want to say this in a fun way. Just lightly caress that subscribe button. We're at like 70 subscribers. We want to get to that 100. Just lightly caress it. Just lightly touch it. Just please.
You can find me on Twitter at Aaron Seaney, AARONSEANEY. And then, of course, please follow us on Twitter as well at Speak of Stadia. Like Jacob said, caress that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. That way we can be at youtube.com/speaking of Stadia. Help us make it happen.
I just hate when YouTubers smash that like button. It's just like, so okay, we get it. Like
smash it. No, I want you to just
lightly caress it. Be clever. If you're gonna do it, be clever with it.
Just
be original.
Just boop. Give it the old boop. Exactly. That's it. All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening, and we will see you. I guess this is a little bit of housekeeping before we go. Every other Monday, once again, around 8:30 Eastern. That is 5:30 Pacific. We are right here doing the show live every other Monday. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks so much for listening.
Bye.
Good.